Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life features a lot of things you can collect, most of which are tied to a wonder or an achievement, which is supposedly a bit tied to a progression of a certain storyline in the game. These collectibles range from easy to obtain to downright needing time and effort to do so. Some, like the recipes, are usable and plays an important and useful role in your stay at the Forgotten Valley. Others, like the records, which we will be tackling in today's video, have an effect which is more for the nuance of the player, namely you. What's up, girls and boys? What's up, internet? I am Bianca and welcome to another Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life video. A video whose focus will be on obtaining all the playable records in the game, of which there are 14 in total. As I mentioned in my preamble for this video, there is a wonder tied to collecting records, the Record Keeper, which requires you to obtain just half of the total number of records. This wonder is also tied to an Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation achievement/trophy for you fellow trophy hunters out there. Anyways, let's begin with the guide, starting off with the record player. As I've mentioned in our starting guide video, the record player is one of the items you can interact with in your house from the beginning of the game. It plays whatever background music you choose simply by interacting with it and picking a selection from the list provided. A list that you would need to populate yourself. Whatever music you choose to play will be the music that plays around your farm and the vicinity near your farm. If you choose to have nothing but the sound of silence as your background music, you can opt to silence the record player by selecting what is currently playing and pressing the confirm button. Records can also be removed from the record player, for whatever reason you may have in doing so, by pressing the triangle button. Regardless if you remove the record or not, the entry will still remain in the record player but will become unplayable and will only eat up a space in your inventory. Though the record player starts off in this little nook at the beginning chapter of the game, it will eventually be moved to the bedroom when chapter 4 hits. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the records itself and how you can get all of them. When you begin the game, you will already have 2 records registered and ready for listening in the record player: Breezy and Quiet Winter. As for the other records, let's go through them one by one in order of how quickly you can obtain them in the game. First up, Another Valley Altogether. This record can be obtained by interacting with a large brown pot inside the Nature Sprites treehouse, as I've mentioned in our starting guide video. You need to interact with it 100 times with each dialogue from Mr. Pot changing every 10 counts. Next, 64 Memories. Now, this one can be obtained as early as summer, even spring, depending on how well you do. But it is tied a bit to luck and maybe a little bit of skill as well, as you would need to beat either of the twins, Charlie or Cole's minigame 10 times. And well, how easy or difficult that may be is varied from person to person. Then we have One Sunny Day, a record that Chris, Sully's wife and Hugh's mother, will hand you over as soon as you reach 90 points or higher in friendship. Once you reach that goal, simply talk to her whenever you see her and she will hand it over. For reference, Chris likes all wildflowers, ores from the dig site, and apples from your orchard. You can also get a record called Sleeping Spirits from Sebastian the butler once you raise his friendship to 90 or higher. Simply talk to him when he's inside his room in the villa and he will hand this over to you. Sebastian enjoys wildflowers, ores, and coins from the dig site, curry and its mushroom and hot variants. Cafe Jazz can be obtained from Gavin, our resident cafe owner and barista. Like all the others mentioned so far and mentioned from here on out, you would have to have him at 90 friendship or higher. And once you do, speak with him while he is in the back rooms. Gavin's tastes range from fish, the Miss Moon and Trick Blue wildflowers, and all the coins you can get from the dig site. Our next record comes from, in my personal opinion, one of the cutest characters in the game, Muku Muku. You need to raise this giant furbal's affection to 90 or higher before talking to him to get Joyful Autumn, which is pretty funny considering that you can only find and interact with Muku Muku during winter. But you do you gentle giant. Now, this could be considered an easy endeavor in friendship considering Muku Muku simply likes fish, eggs, milk, and all crops and wildflowers, as well as cheese. But the challenge here is actually in the form of time constraints, since again, he is only available during winters. Another friendship-related record that is bound by time constraints due to the character in question's availability is Van's Spring in the Air. Tied as it is to friendship with Van, which you can raise by handing eggs and any item from the dig site to him, you still need to fork over 100,000 gold coins for this one. Honestly, Van really is the last person you should expect to get anything free from. Now, of all the friendship-related records in this game, this one is perhaps the one that will force you to hand over your more profitable items like the watermelon and melon, as well as their hybrid Trick Blue versions, or your sheep's wool, which are all Carter's favorite items. If you do want to be cheap, eggs, milk, salads, and sashimi also work. Like the others, you need to have our lead archaeologist here reach 90 or higher friendship before speaking with him during a Van Day, the 3rd or 8th of each month, to obtain the Summer of the Pioneer record. Now we have 2 records whose characters' likes and dislikes changes as the story progresses and requires you to be at a chapter further down the line. Kate and Hugh. Let's first start off with Kate, since hers is a record you can obtain earlier. Like everyone else, you need to have Kate's friendship at 90 or above. The caveat here is that what she likes, as I've mentioned, changes over the seasons or as she grows older. At the beginning, she likes fish, melons, strawberries, wildflowers you can forage around the Forgotten Valley, and coins from the mine. But as she grows older, she also begins to have a liking for eggs. Once you have her at that friendship rating, head on over to the 2nd floor of Garrett and San's house to speak to her and get the Autumn in Oak Tree Town record. If you're new and haven't progressed much in the first chapter, Kate, without spoilers, is a character that moves to the Forgotten Valley on chapter 2. As for Hugh, you can obtain the Winter Mineral Town record from him when you reach chapter 4 in the game, or later if you haven't gotten his friendship up to 90 or higher by that time. You need to speak with him when he is upstairs in Sully and Chris's house. For reference, when you meet Hugh, he will like milk, coins from the dig site, milky soup, and wool from your sheep. From chapter 2, he will start liking bananas and will have a very specific liking to silver coins. Chapter 3, Hugh will like golden wool, which I would really advise you against gifting since they really sell for a lot, the ordinary coin as well as the gold coin from the mine, and herbal soup, cooked with aromatic herbs. By chapter 4, his taste will have also changed once more to now include S-rank bananas as well as usual golden wool and golden coin. Next, we have Wonderful, a record which you can get from Takakura, but you can only obtain it once everyone in the Forgotten Valley has a friendship of 90 or higher from chapter 2 onwards. How long this takes depends on how much you are willing to give to the villagers. If you need help raising affection, you can make use of the Starry Night Festival wish to increase everyone's friendship with you. Thankfully, Vinny, the only character in the game with deteriorating friendship, is not included in this. Once you have achieved that friendship milestone, simply talk to Takakura to obtain this record. And finally, the record which you will probably get for last: 3 seconds before heartache. This record is tied to your child and their friendship level and can only be obtained from chapter 6 onwards. As long as you have their friendship at 90 or higher, you only need to talk to them in order to obtain this record with a very foreboding title. And there you guys have it, all 14 records you can obtain in Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, and how to get them. I hope, as always, that this video proves useful to you guys. If you need a written guide for this, all of my guides, including the ones from the other Story of Seasons titles, can now be downloaded all from my Ko-fi page, the link of which is in the pinned comments down below. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye for now. Keep safe, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Someday we'll have our last conversation, drink our last cup of coffee. Someday we might